The person we're going to talk about today was one of the greatest scientists of all time, Albert Einstein. He was born in 1879 in Germany. His family was Jewish and reasonably well off, or middle class. He went to school in Munich, but while he was an excellent student, he didn't really enjoy the strict and rigid style of education there. He discovered his interest in physics from an early age. One thing that fascinated him was a compass, where the needle always points north. He wondered what it was that made the needle do this. He also read lots of books about physics and mathematics. In 1889, Einstein's family started inviting a student from Poland over to their house to eat. The student became like a teacher to the young Einstein. He gave Einstein books to read and taught him about philosophy and mathematics. Einstein started becoming interested in things like electricity and light. He actually wrote his first scientific paper when he was only 16 years old. After this, he tried to get into a school in Switzerland. He failed most of the exam to get in, but did really well in the physics and mathematics parts. He eventually got into the school, and he would later say that these were some of the happiest years of his life. He met lots of friends who shared his interest in physics, and he also met a girl who he fell in love with. She was from Serbia and the wrong religion, so Einstein's parents weren't happy with the relationship. At this point, Einstein fell into some difficult times. He wasn't allowed to marry the girl he loved, and he couldn't find a job that paid enough money. Finally, the father of one of his friends found him a job in an office. His job was to examine patents for new things that people had made, so patents for new inventions. The inventions he was working on were electrical things, something he knew a lot about. He could do his job very quickly and easily, and he had a lot of time to think about other things, like the universe. In 1905, he got 4 scientific papers published, and made many new and important discoveries. That year, 1905, is known as his miracle year, because of all the amazing things he discovered. For example, there was the famous equation, E=mc², showing that mass can be turned into energy, and energy can be turned into mass. This idea led to the discovery of nuclear power and nuclear energy. Einstein left his office job and entered the academic world of universities and teaching and research. He slowly climbed up the ladder and got jobs at some very famous universities. In 1915, he made another important discovery, relativity. He won the Nobel Prize for Physics a few years later, in 1921. His prize wasn't actually for relativity though. This was still a very controversial idea at the time. Not everyone accepted it as true. His prize was for something less famous and less controversial. Some of his other work from this time has also helped us understand, for example, that the universe hasn't been the same forever, but that it's expanding all the time. Around this time, Hitler and his Nazi party came to power in Germany. Jewish people weren't allowed to teach at universities, and Einstein even learned that he was on a list of people to be killed. In 1932, he left Germany and moved to America. He would teach here for the rest of his life. He really liked the American system, the American value of meritocracy, where the best jobs were given to the people who were most intelligent and most hard-working. He became an American citizen in 1940. At the start of World War II, he warned the president that Germany would try and create an atomic bomb, a nuclear weapon. He said that America should start doing its own research so that Germany wouldn't have the advantage. Although his discoveries helped people understand nuclear energy, Einstein himself didn't work on the bomb. He only learnt about it after it was dropped on Japan in 1945. After the war, he started working in an international movement to try and stop the bomb being used again. Fortunately, it hasn't been used again since World War II. Over his lifetime, Einstein wrote more than 300 scientific papers and discovered more than any other scientist of his time. Einstein was seen as a true genius, one of the most intelligent people to have ever lived. After he died, a doctor took Einstein's brain away so that people can study it and learn more about what makes a genius and about human intelligence in general.